what do you want to do today? What do you want to do now?
You still filming?
Yeah, I was just checking out lighting. Come over here a bit more.
Oh, she's like, let me out.
Let me out. Good side, F45, yeah. Welcome to the video. It's the basic. People ask me, what is the Q&A today? People said, what's this 360 camera you got? This is the Insta360 X2 or 1X2 or something like that. It's a X2 1X. I don't know what it is. It's just good though. It's the latest camera from Insta360. I don't know what it's called. X2. I'm going to call it the X2. If I got that wrong, let me know down below. And do a brain fade there. It's great. It's 360 and it just captures everything. So I think this is definitely going to be the future. And just mount it on the casket. Make sure you let this sit for about 24 hours before you use it. And it works really good. It does feel a little bit like lopsided on your head, but your neck muscles get stronger. And then when it's not filming, I just clip it back like that, and it feels a bit more stable. Or you can clip it to the front. So that's the Insta360 1X2, something like that. But very good camera. Very good camera. Let's get into it. This is from an Instagram account. We've got heaps of questions here. We're going to answer cycling specific questions here. We'll answer the relationship stuff over Ask During Rider YouTube channel. That's more, less cycling specific. We'll get closer. I just got out of bed, so excuse the morning chops. Training tips for ultra distance bike racing, like a 300k gravel race. Very good question. I would say I'm a huge fan. I've done a lot of 24-hour mountain bike races, 24-hour solo mountain bike races, Audax, what's that? It's like a 200 or a 3, 4, 5, 6 or a 1200k very ride where you get your little card stamp. It's just pretty casual pace. Something can not be casual, but it's cool. It's very romantic riding. Lights at night time. You're not really racing each other. It's more like team, just sort of team vibe there. Just camaraderie, a lot of talking, things like that. It can get a little bit racy at the front end, obviously, and that's fine. But generally the Audax is pretty chill, pretty good fun. So I've learned in those races, events, rides, drink water before you're thirsty. And so you're drinking enough water so you're peeing clear every 2 or 3 hours, and eat carbohydrate before you're hungry, which is going to be between 50 to 100 grams of sugars per hour. So if you're doing a 300k gravel race, that's probably going to take you over 12 hours at least. And so you're going to be consuming at least 1 kilogram or 2 pounds of carbohydrate in that event. If you want to perform at your best level, mentally and physically, and actually enjoy it, actually want to do it again, you should finish a 12-hour race or a 300k ride with a bit left in the tank. You should not be like in that last 50k's be hating it, be hating it, because the watts are going to be pretty low. Okay, so you're just going to be doing tempo watts for 10, 12, 15 hours or whatever. So if you start to really hate it, chances are you're running low in water and or sugar. All right, and if you're going to use any stimulants, I'd use them later in the event. If it's hot, don't use stims at all. If it's a hot July day or in Australia, hot January day, don't use stims at all. Stims, I found in the hot weather, are not good. In the cold weather, that can be alright, but the hot weather, they can just cause you to dehydrate and forget to eat enough, and just like, right? So, if you're going to use stims, lose the least amount possible, and don't rely on stims for energy. Maybe rely on them for a little bit extra enhanced focused, but you always use the least amount possible, alright? So you're just going to burn yourself out. Respect your adrenal glands. Like, caffeine is a neurotoxin. Right? So I've got a can of Coke in here as an example for video for later on. The pH of Coca-Cola is about 2.3. People blame the sugar in sodas for dental issues. Sugar is pH neutral. Right? Sugar's fine for teeth. What's not fine is phosphoric acid. Right? Dental enamel's alkaline. You put an acid in there, poof. All right? Do that repeatedly. That's crazy. Sugar always gets the blame. People are drinking soda copious amounts, and on a dry mouth, their teeth are rotting out of their head. And people, it must be the sugar. It's not the phosphoric acid. Put a tooth in some sugar, it's fine. Put a tooth in phosphoric acid solution, what happens to it in a few hours or days? Okay, so I'm a big fan of using the logic there. I wish Coca-Cola didn't have phosphoric acid and it didn't have caffeine in there. Wouldn't it be so good? It tastes great. It's got sugar and water. It's healthy like that. Then you're adding phosphoric acid in there, bad for the teeth, not so good for the arteries. I mean, it's a small amount, you know, I'm just saying. And then there's the caffeine in there, you know, like, I love the taste of Coke, but the caffeine or phosphoric acid means I rarely use it. So when people blame soda for dental issues, it's not the sugar, it's the acids that are wearing away your enamels. So if you're going to use stims, you know, be careful of that. I'd recommend not using stims. My first 300k ride, 0 stims. No caffeine, no cacao, no theobromine, no Ritalin, Adderall, modafinil, nothing. Nothing. Nada. Zip was right across the nullarbor. 0 stims. And it just teaches you more emotional strength. If you're always relying on stimulants, you really don't enjoy the ride as much, in my opinion. You're just getting through it and you sort of forget what happened out there. Stims almost, for me, delete the memory a bit of an epic ride. So that's another reason why I don't really like using them every day, every week, or even every month. I prefer just the emotions of being natty on that day regarding stims. But there is a place for stims. I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying if you can't do it natty, you're not going to have the best time on stims either. All right? So I'm a true believer. Do it natty first. Well, I'm not going to do a 300k bike ride natty. You know, it's not that hard. Carbs and water. People make it hard. They go out, don't get the power meter, so they go way too hard. They don't drink enough, they don't eat enough carbs. They use too much stims and too many painkillers, get a gut issue. They just hate life. Or the bike seat slips down because they don't have a little mark there. Like, you know, like mark your seat height, mark your angle, mark your cleats, have your bike dialed in. Learn how to tune your bike gears. It's very easy. If I can do it. If an incompetent degenerate like me can tune bike gears to almost perfection, anyone can. I just learned that. I had some good teachers as well. And YouTube GCN's got some great videos out there on bike tuning gears. If you do want more information, go join my coaching group, durandride.com. Get my ebook. You know, I've got heaps of ultra training tips in there. Alternatively, if you want direct answers to your questions, join durandride.com coaching group there. The price is about to go up, so get in there before it goes up again. What do you recommend for recovery after each rides? Foam rolling, stretching. Don't recommend any of those, really. Most important thing for recovery is never get home dehydrated. Never get home hungry. If you get home, oh, I need some water, oh, I need some food, I'm so hungry, you're smashed your recovery already, man. I never come home from a bike ride hungry or thirsty because I always take enough food with me or get someone out there. All right? Never get hungry, never get thirsty, never, ever, ever train fasted. Unless your goal is impeded recovery. Train fasted if you want less recovery. You know, I'm 43. I've been training for like decades, man. And I'm still pretty fit. And I train minimally because I look after everything. I look after my bloods, my hormones, my sleep hygiene, all those things. I look after them. I respect my body. I never train fasted. And I never, ever, would ever recommend anybody train fasted. All right? Have a tablespoon of sugar in your mouth, a cup of water, and go out the door and do something, you know? Bring your breakfast with you in a smoothie jug, in a bottle, plastic bottle, not glass. Full on glass ain't gonna be pretty. Never ever train fasted. So, do I use stretching and foam rollers? For sure, they're very helpful things, but they're not for recovery. They're more for injury prevention to keep suppleness in the muscle. They don't help with recovery, in my opinion. What really? I mean, maybe a few percent, but when it comes to like 95% of recovery, that's sleep, water, and sugar. It's not the protein drinks. I mean, if you're a bodybuilder trying to get big and you're on the gear, for sure, protein. Training protein anabolics. That's that scene. I get that. But when it comes to cycling and running, it's about looking like that, and it's about carbs, smashing the carbs, keeping fat under 20 grams a day, keeping protein low, so you're super catabolic and lean and look like Bradley Wiggins and George Bennett and Egan the Vegan Banal and Chris Froome and all those people in their peak of their peak, you know, twigs with big power, watts per kilos, and amazing cardiac efficiency. That's the goal there. Another question here, can I use anabolics to lose weight? To lose fat, rather, the question is. Anabolics don't make you lose fat. If anabolics made you lose fat, why is every freaking fake netty influencer out there, I say that in a nice way, why does it always seem like they're on some perpetual diet? Intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day, just like losing T3 and phentamine and all these stims to try and, you know, faster cardio and just Greg Douchet, put the fork down, fruit's your enemy, Kathleen X, You know, why do these people always seem to be like just scared of eating food? They're just like every time that you see them eating, they're like just hyper vigilant around food. You know, it's like an eating sort of thing. So I'm not making fun of that. I'm just saying, if you think steroids make you lose body fat, they don't. I mean, look at my body fat levels. Like, if anything, steroids are going to make you hold more water on your muscles, so you'll see less definition. That's why they take the diuretics. I don't recommend that, but a lot of people take diuretics to lean out. Right? Steroids make you bigger. They don't make you leaner. That's why, you know, a fat person could take, you know, Anavar. They're not going to get leaner. You can look at me like, I can't tell you they've done anything. You know? So to get the best effect, you want to already have a low body fat, right? And then they can enhance that look. But if you give an obese person testosterone, they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, they're not going to lose any fat, noticeable level of fat. I mean, someone might say, oh, you're going to burn 100 grams of fat in a month. Maybe, who knows? But if that's true, okay. But what's 100 grams of fat in an obese person? It's like taking a brick out of it's like taking a chunk of rock out of the pyramids. Like, you're not going to notice that. So maybe there's some like study done that steroids burn fat, but the context of that isn't real world, in that you're going to get a fat person on steroids and going to lean out. No. You get, I mean, the people I coach who are 150 kilos obese, we get around to 70, 75 kilos or even 60 kilos. What's the secret? We cut the fat right down, under 20 grams. We drive that fat intake down to under 20 grams a day. Under 20 grams a day. That is the secret to losing fat. It's not eat less, move more. That won't work long term. You'll lose a bit of weight maybe, but you're going to rebound because your T3 is going to get suppressed. Then your TSH goes right up. Your libido goes down. Everything's going to shit. And you're just like, okay, I did nothing. You've become a soft, floppy, unmotivated, bitchy, itchy, irritated, infuriated beta because you're not eating enough carbs and you're like a teen girl. You know, like, I'm trying to be a teen queen. I gotta starve myself and eat cotton balls for lunch. Like, just stupid shit, man. Right? And it pains me. I might make fun of it, but it pains me. People do this stupid shit, and all they're trying to do is get lean. I mean, I'm lean. I'm 43, man. And you see me before I took any steroids. I was this lean. I was the same body fat. Now I'm just 10 kilos, hit more muscle. You know, and maybe more fluid on me. Steroids don't make you lose fat. They don't. If they did, why are there all these steroid users out there on these diets, yo-yoing down and water fasting and, you know, like, just stop eating so much fat, man. Stop the yo-yo diets, people. Another question here. What's your coaching all about? Where can you take an alpha? My coaching at DreamRide.com. You can ask me any question. Nothing's too personal, all right? Nothing's too personal. And we dive deep in the coaching group. We dive as deep as you want to go. Right? And if you don't want to have your real name there, you can use an alias account. You can have both. You can have two accounts. You can have an alias account where you're asking like really personal questions that you find a bit sensitive or personal, you know, so you can create an alias account. And it's the only group I know out there where you can ask, you know, someone my level of experience who's willing to tell you absolute truth about what you need to hear for your life benefit. It's the only group I know out there. And so, you know, maybe someone like Tony Robbins would give a similar level of support, but I know more than Tony when it comes to complete lifestyle transformation. I mean, Tony's the genius with state transformations and stuff like that, but I'm the genius when it comes to body transformations, career transformations, things like that. Vasectomy life, TRT, you know, weight loss, like sustained weight loss. I mean, anyone can lose weight. Anyone who's motivated can just starve themselves down and lose fat and lose weight, you know, and that's going to come back. And in the meantime, you're going to be so nasty, you know, insidious to be around, aren't you? You're in such a bad mood when all the stims wear off. You're going to be going up and down and just, it's no fun, man. You don't deserve that, and the people around you don't deserve that. Never, ever restrict your calories, your carbohydrate calories. Restrict the fat, and you're going to feel so much better. So that's the coaching group there. Any questions? Where can I take an alpha? I turn alphas into sigmas. If you don't know what sigma is, look it up. It's not a car. Well, it is a car, but it's not a car. Giant TCR versus Tarmac SL. Same bike pretty much. Similar geometry. The TCR, great bike. Tarmac, great bike. Issues with the TCR. If it's ISP seat post, there can be some clamp issues. I don't recommend ISP TCR anymore. I recommend just the normal telescope seat post. The Tarmac Advantage is its 27.2 post. The old ones were anyway. Easy to replace. The issue with the Tarmac is the fork. Got that specialised proprietary fork with a recessed lower crown. If you do bung up your fork, it could be an issue with getting a replacement. How many milligrams a week do I take? This is referring to anabolics. How much do I take? This week I've done about 25 milligram a week of Cypionate. So my goal is to try and go up to the 85 kilo mark. I started off around 59 kilos, got up to a natty ceiling of about 67, 68 kilo. And I'm talking like low body fat. I mean, obviously I could just smash in a bunch of whole vegan donuts and heaps of fatty foods. I could just get the highest quality oils out there, hemp oil, extra virgin organic olive oil, and just pile that in my food and just gain heaps of fat. And I wouldn't want to do that because I don't want to have the insulin resistance and the heart issues and the brain fog. I love having low body fat with a clear, sharp mind. I love that. And eating too much fat for me is just like the. So yeah, so I'm 25 milligram a week of tests, and my weight is just gained about 4 kilos since around January, I reckon. So yeah, not recommending people do that. I'm just saying, just being transparent here, and that's why you can trust me as a coach. You know, when it comes to these topics, I ain't hiding nothing. So, I mean, there's things I do in my life I do hide, but you know, we all have those things. But it's when it comes to training or fitness or anabolics or diet or whatever transparencies, direction you need to hear, I'm going to tell you straight up truth. All right, straight up truth. So when I answer your question, you have no reservations. Harley, tell me the truth about this food or this drive or this thing or this direction on this YouTube thing. You can just know without hesitation that I'm telling you absolutely everything you need to hear. There's absolute truth. Because I mean, some people out there who are hiring coaches, and I'm like, that coach is on steroids, which is fine, but you're never going to look like them, natty. Oh, but they're not on steroids. They're a nice person. I'm like, they're so fake, man. They're stealing your money under the guise that you're thinking, well, if I hire that trainer, I'm going to look like them because they obviously know what they're doing. I mean, they know what they're doing when it comes to steroids, and that's fine. But unless you're going to use them, why would you hire someone, you know? Like, you're just going to burn yourself out. You're going to get an injury, or you're never going to achieve those goals, those aesthetic steroid goals, and that's fine. If you're aware of that. But it's like hiring. It's like you're a girl with small breasts, which is fine, and you see a girl with a large bosom. She's got like a double D, and it's like, you know, heart shape, sit up real good and stuff like that. And you're like, wow, I'm going to hire her, and she's going to do some chest exercises. I'm going to look like her one day. She's got a boob job, which is fine. Oh no, she doesn't. She doesn't have a boob job. She does have a boob job. No, she doesn't. Oh my God, you're just a negative. Oh my God, like, you're so crazy. I do not. Oh, you're just nasty. You know what I mean? The person's got a boob job, and you're thinking you're going to look like them doing chest exercises in a program they sold you, and their supplements and all that crap, rubbing some herbal cream on you, on your chest. Like, it's delusional. You know. So, and I'll tell these people the truth, and then they hate me. And it's like, okay. And I don't care if you like me or not. I'm just going to give you the truth. Like, if you ask me a question, how to get from A to B, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to bullshit you to make money off you. Never do that. Do you follow food combining rules? For sure. Fruit alone, etc. definitely helps with recovery. You know, having some carbohydrates first, some sugar water. Digestion, man. Everything's related to digestion. You know, digestion's so important. Is a 1999 Specialized Allay M4 Pro a good bike? I remember these. They were coming red or yellow or green. It's a great bike if it's your size. If the fork is okay, like drop the fork out, check for any cracks or rings of death. Otherwise, if it's in mint condition, you know, then it's going to be a great bike to have. You know, because all the parts in that, it's like BSA bottom bracket. I think it's a 27.2 seat post. You know, nice bikes, classic bikes. Another question here is, when you guys ride to the airport with bike boxes, how are you managing it? Holding the flattened boxes or on a rack? Great question. We were in Sydney the other day and I had 2 bike boxes. I had a blanket as well. Natasha wanted to have some clothing in there. So I had 2 boxes. I had them pushed 2 boxes into one box, like big bike boxes, like 2+ meters. And I left before Natasha. She went a 10K ride. She has instant noodles. So I'll get a half an hour head start on you because this is going to be an epic trip. So I've got, you know, I'm riding with the box under one arm and I'm just like riding 2 minutes of that and it's getting a mad pumps and shaking out, get the other one. and I'm riding these bike boxes to the airport. 2 bike boxes, not flattened out, not folded up, just like, you know, I had a wheel in one of them as well and some blankets and clothing. So it felt like maybe 15 kilos or whatever. It was definitely a good arm session. And so I've done that many times. Been traveling internationally with my bike since 2001. And if you want to do that, probably the best way is to fold it under your arm. Get a bike tube or some string and wrap the box up and fold it under your arm and ride one-handed. But please practice that before you go out on the main road. And understand, if you get a bit of wind, you're going to, you know, so practice it in a car park area where it's safe, wear your helmet, wear your gloves, and just practice that. You know, just anyone can do it. You know, I see it in the Philippines and Thailand all the time, people carrying stuff on bikes, China. So, you know, you can do it. It's pretty basic, but just practice, please, before you go and do it. All right? Practice, please, before you do it. So if you can't ride one hand competently, learn how to do that. You know, practice going slow. You know, practice going slow, and wear gloves and helmet at all times, and pay attention to where you are going on the road and what's around you at all times. That's how I did it. We could have paid $70 for an Uber, 70 Australian dollars for a big van, takes the airport, or I saved $70 and got a killer workout. And we packed our own bikes as well, so saved cost about $50 to pack a bike into a box, you know, or you can get the box at the airport for maybe $30. So we saved so much money and time and got a workout in, and it just felt good. It felt like more of a personal experience versus just boring sitting in a taxi and get everyone else to do all the work for you. What are the best aluminium wheels with rim brakes? I'm going to say Spinergy Z-Lights or Spinergy Xera-Lite. Really good rim surface, alloy rim, super strong spokes. You can get parts from them. The hubs are really good. Bearings easy to replace. Got a Hadley free hub body on there. If you want alloy wheels, I'm going to say Spinergy wheels are probably the best out there. Followed by an old set of Fulcrum Racing Zeros in mint condition. They're pretty easy to service, but Spinergies are great. Not sponsored. Been using Spinergies for over 20 years. My favourite carbon rims ever, of all the rims I've ever used, would be the Winspace Hyper 38 rim brake. And if you want some of those, use the code DuranRider10 at winspace.com. DuranRider10, I'll get a little cut from that, but they're the best wheels out there. I mean, you know, when I got given a set, I was like, oh yeah, cool. And I rode them, I was like, damn, the hype is real. These are the best carbon wheels out there. Unless you maybe going to spend $7,000 and get a pair of tubular Gipfelstrom lightweights, and they're only going to be good for uphill. They're not going to be as good as all-round wheel as the Hyper 38. So yeah, for 99.9% applications, Hyper 38 is going to be the best for people who want carbon rims. Carbon wheels are lightweight without spending a stupid amount of money. Next question is, can you recover from the side effects of caffeine if you switch to a high-carb vegan diet? The side effects of caffeine are mostly just anxiety, you know, anxiety and dehydration. So yeah, I find caffeine comes out of the system really quickly. Like, if you stop taking caffeine in a few days, you're going to start feeling better. And you're going to maybe start feeling worse to start with. But eventually, you got up here in the caffeine buzz, and then you're coming down. Caffeine's a neurotoxin, all right? So that neurotoxin is leaching out of your blood, out of your brain, and you're feeling like you're coming down and down and down, and you come back up to baseline and just start feeling more sunshiny and you know, blue sky days. Caffeine's grey. It's a grey drug. It's going to bring you up and it's going to bring you down. It's a melancholy drug. It's like caffeine is depression. It's anxiety in a cup. Not now, but in a few hours later, when it wears off and you're sitting by yourself and, oh my God, what's going on in my life? Or the apathy kicks in. So caffeine, it's almost like causes micro brain damage based on the mood it gives you afterwards. Caffeine blues. I understand that now. When Henry Rollins, remember Henry Rollins? He'd have these spoken words called caffeine blues, and now I understand what he means. Caffeine blues. All right, so yeah, but caffeine is understand that. Yeah, good for you. You know, it's small doses, ain't gonna hurt you, but it's gonna affect your mood for most people. So if you've got issues with anxiety or depression or apathy, like, I don't know, my life's so good and I just feel so shit, like what's going on? And you're carbon up, you're going a bit early, you get in the water, take out that caffeine, take out that chocolate, and see what happens. Next question, a good option power meter for someone who doesn't ride long distances or is a cadence sensor better? No. Get a power meter. I recommend Stages. Stages power meter. For me, they're the lightest, they're the cheapest, they're the most proven power meter out there. They super accurate. If they get wet, you pull the battery out, battery cup off, let it dry out for a day or two. Good to go. You know, a power meter is going to help the noob more than anyone else, because it's going to teach you how to pace yourself. I wish if I had a power meter back in 30 years ago, 20 odd years ago, I would have been so much fitter back then, because I would have known how to pace myself versus hit the start of the hill, stupid high watts, and then blow up full of lactate and hydrogenize in my blood, muscles season up. So every noob needs a power meter. The reason why my girlfriend's like zero fitness, cycling fitness really, and then crank right up, is primarily because of obviously the diet and lifestyle, but the power meter. When you can personify what 100 watts, 200 watts, 150 watts, 500 watts, etc. looks like and feels like by having the numbers in front of you, you get you can understand it more. It's like going to a gym and just lifting weights. You just lift weights. Like what? But when you go on, you can put some rack on you. I'm going to do 10 reps of 50 kilos or whatever, 100 kilos, and then you can sort of feel what that feels like. And if you're normally benching 100 kilos and you're like, I can't do it today, you haven't had enough carbs, you haven't had enough water, you haven't had enough sleep, or you haven't had enough juice. So power meter is so important. Everybody should use a power meter. I think the power meter is probably one of the most important things in society in terms of technology to learn about yourself, to learn the truth about nutrition and diet. That's why I'm evangelical about power meters. I don't need one anymore because I know what's going on with my body and stuff. But I've been using a power meter for 12 years, and they definitely help a lot. They definitely help a lot. So if you want to become your fittest, get a power meter and use it to pace, and use it to learn about hydration and carbohydrate intake and how important being hydrated and carved up and having a high hemoglobin really is. Next question: how much sodium a day? I would say have enough salt. Have enough salt that your blood pressure is over 90, 60. Right? If you get up in the morning, you're dizzy because you've got low blood pressure, have 1, 2, 3, 4 grams of salt that day, and have it with the carbohydrate like your white rice and soy sauce. I find white rice, white sushi rice, or white jasmine rice. Try them both. See what you prefer. These two rices with some soy sauce at night time, that's a great meal. Just winds you down. You're just like, put away the sleeping pills, put away the bongs, put away the SSRIs, pick out your white rice, have that, and just bliss out at night time. Just drift off to sleep and wake up next day ready for action. Avoid, if you got head spins when you stand up, more salt please. Do you ever consume cannabis or smoke in edible form? Do I ever get stoned? Last time I smoked weed was, I think it was May, no it definitely was, it was May 1997. The last time I was smoking weed and getting stoned. And then, funny story, so I hadn't been stoned since May 97, massive gap over till, was it December 2019, when me and Natasha were in Sydney, I stayed with a grandmother, and she was using some CBD drops for her chemo treatment. And I saw it in the fridge, CBD, I'd like to try some of that. So I'm, hey Natasha, have some of this, I'll have some of this. Turns out that CBD oil had THC in there as well. And about 10 or 20 or 30 minutes later, I'm in the shower. I've been stoned at that point, for 22 years. Right? No vaping, nothing. I've been stoned for 22 years. I'm standing in the shower, and I'm just like, oh, the shower feels really good. I'm just thinking, hang on, I'm stoned. I'm lit. I'm off my chops, man. And I'm thinking, damn, that's CBD. I'm like, how am I stoned? I'm like, that's got CBD, THC. So I go out to the room and I said, Natasha, she's like, I'm stoned. And I'm like, we're laughing our heads off. We grabbed the thing, it's got some hippie guy's face in it. It's like, and 20 milligrams of THC or whatever. And we're just out of it. I'm going to go to this Christmas dinner, Christmas lunch. And, oh man, and then Natasha's grandma's looking at us, and I'm getting all super paranoid and self-conscious. I've been stoned for 22 years. Now we're going to this lunch function, people I've never even met before, and people we haven't met. It's just, oh man. And it was, it reminded me why I don't smoke weed no more. Because I was like, Did I just say that? Am I talking too loud? You know, it's just super self-conscious. It was quite amusing at the same time as also awkward and uncomfortable. But, you know, I ended up spending most of the day laying on the back lawn, just trying to sleep it off. So would I use those drops again? For sure, but not in a social setting, etc. Maybe some power tests. I like to do some power tests on THC, etc. But yeah, it wasn't enjoyable. So my opinion, getting stoned every day, definitely, unless you've got, you know, some chemo or you've got some health issue. I'm a fan of medicinal cannabis, but I'm not a fan of recreational cannabis in a weekly or daily usage. I don't think it's good for the brain, especially for young people, in my opinion. If you want to try it here and there for a bit of an experience, for sure. But I don't recommend it as a daily or weekly thing. I see weed, it's too much of a downer. You know, it takes people too down and then sort of stay down. I'm not a fan of weed in that aspect. Just like stims. If you use stims every day, I find you eventually can't really recover properly and become a bit neurotic and anxious. So if you use them now and then, recreationally, you know, I've got no problems with that. No problems with that. So yeah, but I've been stoned. So last time I was stoned was it December 2019, and then before that was May 1997, before Natasha was born. So that's my deal on cannabis there. Not related to cycling, but I will answer it. Reynolds wheels. Reynolds makes some good wheels. They're generally like a decent carbon rim with a standard spoke and DT Swiss hub, generally. Opinion on the new Cannondale Super 6, 1 or 2? 2 for 1 question. Oops. No houses. Reynolds wheels, fine. You know, they're coming out of China. The Chinese rims, like everyone these days. I would be going the hyperspace personally. The hyperspace, not hyperspace. The wind space hyper 38s. Why would you pay more than that? You know, why would, in 2021, if you want brand new carbon wheels, why would you get anything other than the wind space hyper 38 clinches rim brake? Why? Like, why would you? You know, nothing's going to be better performing all around. Nothing's going to be the same price point, in my opinion. Use the code DURINRIDE10. I hate to be salesy, but just being real. And the new Cannondale Super 6, yeah, the rim brakes, I like it. I like it. There is a hair in my ear. How much can I charge for my LA Sport with Garmin pedals? Only 2 years old. And I'd buy it. What's on there? What wheels you got on there? Has it got a power meter? What's the group set? You know, depends what's on there. You know, depends what's on. It's hard for me to answer that question, Vaughn, because not much information. Not much information. LA Sport, did that come with Tiagra, Sora, 105? Was it swapped out by the shop for an insurance plate? Like, it's hard. There's not much detail. So all I've got here is a frame. So the frame's probably worth like $200. The Garmin for me is worth like $50. The pedals probably $50. So yeah, that's that group set. You know, $200-300. Best depth of carbon wheel. My favourite's probably 25 mil. 25 mil and wide. A wide rim, 25 mil. Wide for the rough roads, cobbles. Shallow for the hectic crosswinds and lighter weight. The biggest depth would probably be a 38 mil. More than that, I don't like how it handles. It looks cool, but the handling in the wind, you got a big deep section rim. In the wind, even Chris Froome crashed because of that. So it's just sketchy. Good for the track, maybe. Good for Instagram. Why are you against an all raw vegan diet? I find that performance-wise, you can't be your fittest, leanest, healthiest self in 2021 on an all raw diet, vegan diet. I mean, the vegan part's got nothing to do with it, but just eating fruits and vegetables, whilst fruit and vegetables are incredibly important, just getting the quality, you know. I mean, if you lived in like an amazing, you know, fruit garden, which I don't know anyone who does, then yeah, sure, you can do it. It's our natural diet. But we don't live in that situation. We travel, we sit in cars, we go in planes, you know, we've got to find food, and often it's not ripe enough, and logistics, things like that. So, but otherwise, it's fantastic. You know, if you can get, you know, unlimited high brix value fruit that you're totally satisfied with. I mean, the best fruit in the world, when you're really kicking ass on a raw vegan diet, you don't crave anything out there from the cooked world. Like when I'm having the best fruit ever, I'm done, man. Like, this is so killer. Yeah, but eventually that killer fruit's going to be out of season. Or that day was just one day or one tree, and you're like, okay, well now I'm hungry, it's for us, you know. So that's why I recommend what I recommend. Yeah. Is that why I recommend what I recommend? It's going to be way better, man. You're going to have a better performance. You're going to have a better physique. All right? To use Freely as an example, when she was raw, she didn't have the best physique. And then I coached her up and she had her best physique. All my girlfriends have their best physique on my raw till 4 program. All right? A lot of fruit, a lot of sugar. I shouldn't say a lot. Enough fruit, enough sugar, enough rice. Because what does a lot mean? I mean, that much is a lot of fruit for some people. That much is a lot of sugar for some people. That much is a lot of rice for some people. No, it has to be enough. All right? Not saying a lot of sex. Once a week might be a lot of sex for one person. You've got to have enough sleep, enough sex, enough water, enough carbohydrate, enough sunshine. I'll stop using the word a lot because it's very subjective. What's your opinion on e-bikes? I definitely rate e-bikes. I think e-bikes are great. I think there should be more e-bikes on the road because it replaces cars. You know, it's just the excuse killer. If you're tired, I'm done. Jump on an e-bike, got no excuse. So, big fan of e-bikes. Next question, Durace Max. Why do you hate discs? I'm not really a fan of discs, but they do perform quite nicely. I don't hate discs. I mean, I might come across it, I do hate. 100% of my bike sales this year have been disc brake bikes. All right? I love disc brake bikes, but for road racing, they're absolute overkill, and in some situations they're dangerous. Look at Mahoric in the Giro recently, grabbing the rear brake, and it was inconsistent. It grabbed too hard, he crashed out with concussion. Could died. You know, a road disc hydro can be very, very inconsistent. And for me and you, it's not so bad. But at the pro level, world tour level, when you're bombing down, going through a corner at 80k an hour, and you're just feathering the brakes, and all of a sudden it grabs too much and it flips you over the bars or flips you into the gutter, that's unacceptable. So, you know, I don't hate them. I'm just calling out that for the world tour, rim brake's good enough. And there's not a single world tour rider out there who would disagree with me on that one. There's not a single world tour rider who's being open and honest after a few beers, no sponsors around, who's going to say, you know what? Do you know what is wrong? I love disc brakes. I love a heavier bike with slow wheel changes and something my mechanic has to fuss over every night. I love disc brakes. No. They're going to say rim brakes, man. Why the fuck? Why are we riding road disc in the world tour? We all prefer rim brakes. So don't hate them, just being transparent with my opinions there. How do we join your lifetime coaching group? Durama.com. How do you measure how much sugar you need a day? Your taste buds, man. Your taste buds. Like if you're craving sugar, you'll have more sugar. Have enough sugar. It's like how much how do you measure how much sex you need? Like how much sex you need a day? It depends on how you feel. How much sleep you need? How much sleep you need? Depends how you feeling. How much training can you handle? Depends on how you're feeling. So I'm a big, huge fan of going by feel and writing those numbers down. You know, okay, today I had like 700 grams of carbs. Today I had 400 grams of carbs. Next day, I feel really depressed. Didn't have enough carbs. You know, so having a food diary and giving yourself ballpark figures of how many carbs in something, that can give you, you know, a bit of a ballpark of how much you actually really do need, and then you can start to match objective data with your feelings. You know, it's like I notice if my hormone levels are a certain way, I feel this, and if it's down here, I feel that. Okay, and neither is good or bad; it's just different. But when it comes to performance, if I only have 300 or 400 grams or 500 grams of carbs a day, that's not going to be enough if I want to do well tomorrow, because my muscle glycogen won't be sufficient for my brain and my organs, my love organ or my legs, etc. You know, I won't have enough muscle glycogen to do what I want to do. You know, I don't want to be in reserves. I want to have abundant energy. I want to have abundant muscle glycogen every day. And excess muscle glycogen, what happens to that? Your body just burns up via heat. You get a bit hot, or you have to pee a bit more, and you pee out the sugars. You burn up the sugars via heat. That's why I'm always so lean. Keep fat intake low, sugar unlimited, rice unlimited, fruit unlimited. So it's just, you just go by your hunger, really. Like your body's pretty amazing like that. But there'll be times where you're stressed and you're not hungry. You know, I would say have a little snack then. Yeah, have a little snack. Just put a bit, and over time you start to. That's why it's important to leave the stims out. Once you pull the stims out, the Adderalls, the caffeine, the modafinils, the provigils, all these stimulants, green tea, matcha, theobromine. Oh, that's healthy. You know, cacao leaves. No. It's a stimulant. Pull them all out. let your body like drain it all out so you can reset and actually feel what's going on. Right? These things are painkillers for appetite. They're appetite suppressants. So then your bloodstream, oh, that's good. I managed to get to eat less. And you get to freak out more. And you get to damage your thyroid gland even more. And you get to yo-yo rebound even more. Great. So pull the stims out and you get more in touch with your appetite and hunger. Do you really eat white rice with just soy sauce and nothing else? For sure, it's one of my favorite meals. White rice with soy sauce. You know, basic 2 ingredients: white rice, soy sauce. Another one is white rice, sugar, and a bit of low-fat soy milk. As much as you want. As much as you want. Another one could be white rice and salsa. I'm pretty basic. I just want fuel. Food for me is not entertainment. I mean, it has to taste a certain way, but for me, I'm like, eating your food, I'm thinking, how good is this going to make me perform tomorrow? You know, how am I going to feel tomorrow on this food or in this next hour? And that's my basis for that consumption. So, yeah. And when you're eating as much carbs as you want, you have more control because you're not starving yourself. When you're really hungry, you don't have much control. Your body's like, just give me anything now. And so I've got such good discipline. Like, hey, you're so disciplined with your food. It's not discipline. I can say I've got such good discipline. It's not discipline. It's just that I'm not hungry. You know, I don't let myself get hungry. I always have some carbs in there. Every meal is carb focused. It's not protein or fat focused. It's carbohydrate focused with low fat. So that's the deal right there. You know, that's the deal right there. So, and that's gonna make you perform and recover so much better. And people can knock it and like, just do it, man. Do it before you knock it. All right. Do it before you knock it. Couple more questions. We'll wrap it up. Wow, almost 41. I could talk for hours on this one. Do you compare the Tarmac versus the Pragma and the Windspace bikes? I would say they're all very, very similar. The rim brake Tarmac, rim brake Pragma, rim brake Windspace, they're all going to be pretty much the same bike. Pretty much. I like the Windspace because it has the SLC, has direct mount brakes, and it has a 27.2 seat post to a normal clamp. I like the old Tarmac, the 1, 2, 3, and 4, because it had a 27.2 seat post, normal seat clamp, but the fork was a bit hard to get in the spare, so, you know. And the Pragmas, I love them, because 1.5 tapered steerer, easy to get, 27.2 seat post, standard clamp, BSO bottom bracket, you're laughing. You're laughing. But I can't get him anymore, unfortunately. I can't get rim brake bike anymore. You know, getting the girlfriend into cycling, best starter right ideas. Just type in any of my YouTube channels, girlfriend cycling, and there'll be heaps of YouTube videos I've done about that. The main one is she's got to have a good seat. I recommend the Celitalia Diva. Celitalia Diva. The second saddle to try will be the Specialized Mimic. So 2 saddles, Specialized Mimic and the Celitalia Diva. The Diva, try those ones. For saddles, because you've got to have comfort. But yeah, done a lot of videos on that one. Always let your woman ride in front, you know, and tell her to slow down, tell her to pay attention to the road. You know, don't be in front of her just riding off into the sunset and making a chase. Do you want her to ever ride ever again? I mean, it can be very, very hard to not want to go in front, but let her go in front, let her set the pace, and tell her to take it easy on the downhills. I generally go in front on the downhills to control the pace, to slow it right down. Because if you let her go in front on the downhills, then she's going, hold on back, and she'll be going way too fast to the corners, she'll crash, she'll hate cycling, she might get a really bad injury. Never ever let the noob go first down the hill. You go fucking slow, man. Slow. Right, and then feel it up from there. Otherwise, you're gonna have a crash, and it's gonna be in hospital, and it's gonna be no-go zone. You know, it's gonna be no-go zone. So yeah, just learn the easy way. Where can I get a bike box from? Any bike shop, Bin will give you a bike shop for sure. Thoughts on Fuji bikes? Yeah, I've got a few Fujis. I rate them. The rim brake Fujis. I'm a fan. Jessica says, does exercising speed up metabolic recovery, rebound, weight loss, and weight gain? I'd say it's going to be beneficial. Like, what does metabolic rebound mean? Metabolic rebound is generally when your thyroid, your TSH, your thyroid stimulating hormone, is spiked. Why does it spike? It spikes to slow your body down, so you store more weight, because you've just been in a carbohydrate famine. You've done a juice fast, you've done carb restriction, you've done a bikini competition, you've done these stupid things to try and lose weight that way. You know, it's like trying to punch a brick wall to knock it down instead of using a sledgehammer. Like, it's dumb. It's better than it's like smashing glass windows with your hand. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get cut. You're losing weight by restricting your carbs, taking drugs. You're gonna get cut. You're gonna cut your metabolism. Don't do that. Don't use your fist to break glass. Use a hammer. Don't use carb restriction to lose fat. Eat low fat, you know, and do it long term. So cycling, let's say someone's in it, let's say Stephanie Buttermore, you know, she did that. She was starving herself on the drugs, etc. And she got lean, but then she's like, I can't do this anymore. And she just rebounded and gained like, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 kilos. She didn't need to gain that much. But why she gained that much is she suppressed the thyroid so much from lack of carbs. But she just ate a low-fat diet, she wouldn't have gained so much. And then the recovery would have been better. And if she was coached by me, cycling, yeah, she would have been much better conditioned today. And she would have felt, no girl wants to get that big. No girl wants to get, no, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, no girl wants to go from tiny to big mama. No girl does. And if you are big mama, that's fine. I'm just saying no girl wants to be there though. They don't. Every girl wants to be super slim and slight. And some girls can, because they're just like, you know, 5'2". And some girls are 6'5", and they're just a bit more built. Bigger bone structure, okay? So you got to understand what your genetics are. But Stephanie Buttermore, she got super small genetic potential. So as Natasha, all my girlfriends do. But if you're like, you know, a big set Amazon woman, then trying to be super petite, obviously you're gonna hurt yourself trying to get there. You know, just genetics. So there's no one or good or bad the other. I'm just saying, you know, there's no way Stephanie Buttermore prefers her physique today than she did back in the day. They don't. Because why would she put herself in so much torment to try and get to that leanness? You know? That's the proof right there. So yeah, so cycling, just doing my protocol. Join my coaching group. Let's hold you by the hand and guide you step by step through that. Right? Because hey, you let's be honest, your body's your money maker, women. And I don't make those rules. I don't make those rules. Society makes those rules. You know? Your body's your money maker. Alright, so why would you want to let it go to shit? Because you're following someone's bad advice with carb restriction, and then you rebound and you say, I don't care anymore, and I'm going all in, I'm eating heaps of fatty foods, and you're gaining way more weight than you need to. Your body's your money maker, you know. I don't make that rule. Society makes that rule. I'm just here to help. Is it fine to put sugar in your banana smoothies if the banana's not sweet enough? Why would it not be fine? Oh, I'm sedentary. Why are you sedentary? Oh, you have an injury. Oh, you're in a coma. Okay, my bad. In a coma, what do they give you for food? What's 90% of your calories in a coma? Sugar. Huh? And what happens if a 150 kilo person is in a coma for a year on a sugar diet? They almost halve their body weight. And they have to give them anabolic steroids to try and maintain some weight. So when someone says that sugar's okay for an athlete, you're going to burn it all off. Well, how come coma patients don't burn the sugar off and they keep losing more and more body weight? Oh, so why wouldn't sugar be fine? Sugar's always fine. Sugar's always welcome. Sugar is always welcome. You need to put refined sugar in your daily diet if you want your best results. Now, I love all those people out there who would say, no, oh, it's extreme. Do it, man. Do it and report back. Be like me saying, if you want to have less glare in your eyes when using a glow light, wear a hat so it's not smashing your eyes or when you're talking for 48 minutes. Oh, I can't wear a hat, it's weird. Okay. You know, like, do it before you knock it. That's why I have such conviction, because I do these things before I recommend them. There we go, that's the deal there. Any epic bike adventures coming up? Not really, because I'm trying to gain another 10 kilos. And me doing more epic bike adventures is counterproductive to that. And I've done a lot of epic adventures and I enjoy that. And so in the future for sure, but just not this year, I reckon. Anyway, that's the video we got. Thank you for all your questions. They just keep going and going and going. That's fantastic. Yeah. But anyway, we'll do some more videos over at Ask Duran Rider YouTube, and we'll do some at my main Duran Rider YouTube channel. 49 minutes, no jump cuts, one take. I could talk for hours and hours and hours. That'll do.